verdict form does appear to be in order. Madam Clerk, would you please publish? Ma'am, would you please rise to receive the verdict?
In the Circuit Court of the 28th Judicial Circuit in and for Hendry County, Florida, criminal action. Case number 06-CF-505. State of Florida versus Ruby Yolanda Parker. Verdict. We, the jury, find as follows as to the defendant in this case. Count 1. Joey Whitaker. The defendant is guilty of culpable negligence. Count 2. Carolyn Whitaker. The defendant is guilty of culpable negligence. Count 3. Myrtle Cox. The defendant is guilty of culpable negligence. Count 4. The defendant is guilty of robbery. So say we all, February 18th, 2012, Michael Bellamy, jury foreperson.
Does either side wish to have our jury panel polled?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Mr. Meyer, was that your verdict, sir?
Yes.
Was that also the verdict of the jury as a whole?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Collins, was that your verdict, ma'am?
Yes.
Was that also the verdict of the jury as a whole?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Ledoux?
Yes.
Was that your verdict, ma'am?
Yes, it was.
Was that the verdict of the jury as a whole?
Yes.
Ms. Gruber?
Yes.
Was that your verdict, ma'am?
Yes.
Was that also the verdict of the jury as a whole?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Gusky?
Yes.
Was that your verdict, sir?
Yes, it was.
Was that also the verdict of the jury as a whole?
Yes.
And Mr. Luna, was that your verdict, sir?
Yes.
Was that also the verdict of the jury as a whole?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Bellamy, was that your verdict, sir?
Yes, sir, it was.
Was that also the verdict of the jury as a whole?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Cummings? There you are. Was that your verdict, ma'am?
Yes.
Was that also the verdict of the jury as a whole?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor, was that your verdict, sir?
Yes, sir.
Was that also the verdict of the jury as a whole?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Rubel,
Yes.
was that your verdict, ma'am? And was that also the verdict of the jury as a whole?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Cordova, was that your verdict, sir?
Yes.
And also the verdict of the jury as a whole?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Harvey, was that your verdict, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Was that also the verdict of the jury as a whole?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Members of our panel, I want to express to you that I'm sure I speak for both parties, as well as the court and court operations. I really want to thank you for your service. It's not often that jurors get called to serve, although I will say that with the population here being smaller than some other counties, that occurs more frequently. And when they do serve, they typically don't serve over 2 weeks. I sincerely want to thank you for that. Okay, folks, as for now, we'll put it on for 8:30 on Friday. If anybody wants to be here, that's fine. It's a public place. We conduct all our business in the open. I did offer to counsel as they came up that if either side needs more time as they move forward towards sentencing, if there's a change, I would suggest that either side that's interested in being here, just call the attorneys and they'll be happy to let you know if there's any updates. Okay?